Hi, everybody. My name is Jill Began, and I'm with PPAI. I'm the Manager of Regional Relations and Communities, and I am joined today, lucky enough to be joined today, by these two lovely people who know a lot about regional associations and the regional life. I'd love for you guys to introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself and your involvement in the regional communities.
Hi, I'm Nicole Stachowicz, and I'm with College Hill. And I have been volunteering with regionals for 5-6 years maybe. I originally started with PPAW, and now I am the president of the board for NWPMA.
Hi, I'm Rocky. I do not volunteer. I am actually employed by regionals. I am an executive director. I work for PPAMS, SPPA, and GCPPA. I do have a staff of one that helps me, so it's not too overwhelming, but yeah, that's kind of what I do.
And you're also a member of the RRC, the Regional Relations Committee.
That's true. I do volunteer on that, but it's not volunteer on my own. It's volunteer for you guys.
Nice, and we appreciate it. So a lot of people know about regional associations, but not everybody does. They might not know where they are, who they are, what the benefits are. If somebody came up to you and said, what is a regional association? Tell me about it. What would you like to tell them?
Well, it's funny that we're here at PPAI because I typically use PPAI as a reference because a lot of people in the industry know that PPAI is the national association, or international association, I should say. But regionals are really the same thing as PPAI. We just do it on a much, much smaller scale. Regionals are really about community. So our shows and our events are going to be on a much smaller scale, but you're going to meet people that are from your state or from the surrounding states, so it's very more local focused.
And community, like everybody's a competitor technically, but really at the end of the day, I love that about this industry is everybody will help everyone. It doesn't matter if you have the same type of clients, it's just all about connecting, finding somebody to lean on when you need help and you just don't know how to get to the next level. If you are the older generation in this industry and you want to go after the younger generation, just getting tips and tricks from other people on how you can put yourself out there.
Awesome. Now, one thing about the regionals, they are located throughout the United States. How does somebody know which regional they should join? Is it where they live, maybe where their sales territory is? Again, you don't have to be in sales to be an active member in your regional association. Or is it where maybe their company is based? Does it make a difference? Can someone be a member of more than just one?
You can be a member of all of them if you'd like to. It just all depends on what your needs are and what you're looking for. It is good to be exposed to other areas. Like NWPMA has 5 states, and so it's just a wide region. So a big community, but there's some states that have 2 per state. Down in Florida and things like that, and so. Funny, that's where you are. But yeah, so it's just you can be a member of any of them. It's just a matter of what you want to take advantage of.
Yeah, and we find that, if you're like a local mom and pop shop, you're probably just going to be a member of the association that's right there in your state. But bigger distributorships like Geiger's or I Promote You, they may have a membership with all of the regionals. So if you work with one of them, you may have a membership under your membership with Geiger, or your relationship with Geiger, I should say. But yeah, it's just, actually, PPAI has a really great resource on the website that they've given us as regionals. It's a map, and it's at ppai.org/regional-associations, if I got that right. And basically, it's a map, and it kind of shows you on the map which regionals cover which areas. A lot of suppliers will, if you're a member as a supplier of a regional, you may be in a specific area that you cover, and then you can volunteer that way, or you come to events that way. But, distributorships are, it's kind of the same. Like you really, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But just look at the map and you'll kind of find where you're supposed to be. And that's a very helpful resource for finding your regional, yeah.
There are multiple maps around that I've seen, and so if you're curious of which one that you belong to, just try to find one of those. There's actually one right outside of this room, and so if you're just unsure, just ask one of us. You can find us on LinkedIn, but we're happy to guide you in the right direction.
Absolutely, and that QR code on the maps that you'll see around the convention center, that will take you directly to the page on our website that has all the regional information. So obviously y'all are very much involved in the regional community, and it didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like, I'm going to start and I'm going full force 100%. How did you become involved? What made you become involved? And how did that evolve over the years?
I mean, I feel like I'm a volunteer addict. I love to volunteer for a lot of things in this industry. I just wanted to put myself out there and just learn. I love learning every day and like what you can expose yourself to. And so when I started in PPAW, that was kind of I was 3 years, I believe, I was on that board. And then it went under Chicago. And so I really wanted to be a part of another board. And so that's when I was asked to be on NWPMA. But just putting yourself out there is so important. You don't realize the resources that you can find or just the connections. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And just putting yourself out there is just so rewarding, and just being able to help people. Just the things that you know. I always say that people with passion are my favorite. It's just what you know, and people can learn from you.
Yeah, I agree. Like a lot of people, I did not seek out a career in promotional products. I kind of fell into it, and I say that in the best way, just because our industry is one that's very creative. So about 20 years ago, Jill, and you know the story already, but I'll tell them. 20 years ago, I started working with Mark, and I was just kind of contract labor at a trade show that PPAMS was throwing. Over the years, Mark and I developed a relationship. I was working at a lot of trade shows, and so we ended up building a business around managing associations. That's why I have 3 associations that I manage now. And over the 20 years, I got to meet a lot of really amazing people, a lot of great volunteers, a lot of great people from the industry. It's been wonderful.
Nice. One thing I have noticed as I've gone to the different trade shows of the different regionals throughout the U.S., one thing that always impresses me, and y'all always are both talking about community, when I'm at that registration desk and people are coming in, the folks behind the registration know just about everybody by name. It doesn't matter who you are, how long you've been a member of the association, but they know you by name, and that's the community, that's the connections that being a part of a regional makes, and it's really impressive.
Exactly. As an executive director and being the steady one that's in the association over a number of years, I've had the unique opportunity of meeting people and seeing them grow as a volunteer. They start off and they're maybe just helping at an event with a friend, and it's kind of the same as my journey. The next thing you know, they're on the board. The next thing you know, they're the president. So it really kind of develops and grows over time, and it's really lovely to see.
So, like you just kind of touched upon, y'all are both very heavily involved. But if someone wants to maybe start volunteering, they don't have to go full force. It's not like, I'm going to start volunteering, I'm a board member. It's not like that. How do people and can people kind of ease their way into it to make sure it's something that they're comfortable with? And a lot of times when you like this, they want to make sure they can make that time commitment. Mm-hmm. It is something that someone can ease into if they'd like to.
If you go to the website for your regional association that's in your area, just email the executive director. The email address is always there, and just ask those questions. Even if you're interested in just kind of seeing what it's all about, you can join in on any of their meetings and things like that. If you kind of want to see what it's about, you can talk to anybody that's on any regional board. They're more than happy to help you and answer any questions that you have. The time commitment varies depending if you have events coming up. Sometimes it could be an hour a month. It just kind of all just depends on what's going on. But it's all you want to be involved. If you have maybe a half hour to spare, you could join a committee and being able to help for upcoming trade shows or event committees or things like that. But anytime that you have and you want to start putting yourself out there, we welcome that. All of the regionals, and there's 26 regionals, correct?
Yeah, and like you said, with passion, if you're passionate about advocacy, there's a place for you. If you're passionate about marketing, there's a place for you in a regional. If you're passionate about, just meeting people, there's a place for you in a regional. Basically, and I'm going to age myself a little when I say this, but there used to be this chart that we would have, and it was a product. It was a T-shirt. And so there was a small, medium, large, and extra large, And what I always like to say is some people are small. So, you may not have a lot of time, but you still want to volunteer. There's a place for that. And some people are an extra large. That might be like a president on a board or a VP on a board, So really, if you're interested in jumping in, or even if it's just like you said, an hour at an event, that's a way to meet people, get your foot in the door and ease into it. It's really not all or nothing.
Mm-hmm. And you made a good point. Sometimes someone might think, this is for salespeople. There's the trade shows. It's not just for sales. It's not just about making the connections for sales. But like you said, if you're in marketing, it's a great place to meet others in marketing. If you're in IT, it's a great place to connect with people in IT. It's for everybody within the industry. It doesn't matter the position. One last question. So if you could tell somebody one thing about regional associations, what most impresses you, what drives you with these regional associations, what would that one thing be?
That's a really good question, actually.
The one thing for me is, besides the executive directors, everybody is volunteering their time. Everybody loves this industry. I mean, so many people found this industry by accident, and if they leave, they usually come back. It's just fun. It is what you make it. I guess you get out of it what you put into it. And so if you're going to the shows and you like that, and there's also multiple different locations or different shows that happen throughout the year, you just get out of it what you put into it, like I said. So if you're not really interested in, some people walk trade shows and they don't really even like. It's hard to describe. My words. I'll think about it if you want to come back.
Yeah, sure. So for me, I think it's really about community. I mean, you said that in the beginning, and we kind of need to circle back to that because really that's what it is. We're a local community. When you're at a regional show, it's more about quality over quantity. The people that you're meeting at these reps at these shows, they're going to be your local reps that you're going to deal with. You're going to build relationships with them. You're going to build friendships with them. And that's what we are. We're a local community.
Oh, I also, one thing, end users. Most regionals, when they host shows, they allow you to bring your customers. And that right there is priceless. I mean, the suppliers are, they know what not to say. And so use it to your advantage to get your customers in front of product, touch, feel. That's how you're going to sell things versus just trying to describe or throwing a pitch deck at someone. It just takes it to a whole nother level for the experience for your client.
Yeah, and in that vein also, when your client is at a show with you, sometimes they may see something that you didn't think of for them because they know their business best. Some people may find it hard to explain that to other people, but when they see it, they know it, and those are great opportunities for end users at shows. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both very much. Rocky, Nicole, really appreciate it. Before we sign off, just one quick plug. Tomorrow morning, Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30 on the second floor foyer near those windows, there's going to be a regional and volunteer coffee and collab. Please come, meet your local regional, start making those connections. It's all about collaboration. There'll be drinks, there'll be coffee, and there'll be pastries, and we really hope you can make it there. Thank you so much.
See you there.
See you there.